Hit me!
Episode 303.
You've got to throw some cold water on the situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is Netheads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Yeah. There's Will. There's Trent.
And Trent.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Another edition of Netheads, as we just said. My name is Will.
Trent.
If you want to take part in the program, you can one of many ways. This case, definitely after the fact, more than likely via Twitter. So in reaction mode, if you will. And if you want to do that, Trent, give him an idea.
Yeah, use the hashtag Netheads. Basketball season's just starting, so it's not going to be filled up with anything else, folks. As far as hashtags go, use the hashtag Netheads. Join in, not unlike Shane Daly and our good friend Ash Williams. Will, question for you.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready for a question.
Growing up, and perhaps in adulthood, did you ever play that game where if you made a circle with your index finger and your thumb, and it was below your waist, and a friend looked at it, you got to punch them?
Yes.
Because that's whenever I see the okay emoji,
yeah,
that's what I always think of. Like I need to do a punchies emoji.
I literally saw a sign somewhere the other day, and it was doing that, and it said, "Got you. Now follow us at."
That's brilliant. But and there's a variation on it. I don't know if you played it this way, but if you could stick your index finger into the hole without looking at it, then you got to punch them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you got two on them.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Okay.
But there's also rules. The punch, you also have to be a courteous gentleman and wipe after. If you don't, then you get punched back.
Yeah.
Did you guys have that too?
Yeah. You got to wipe. You always got to wipe.
Literally,
It's a public space. How can you do it and not wipe? Other people might get involved, like have to sit in it. Okay,
fair enough. Oddly enough, I only got to play that game with my friend and his brother. They were the only ones I knew of that were doing it. So it was like extremely limited. I don't know if it just had been a thing that died off in the suburbs by the time we kind of came into fashion.
And see, it was probably just barely getting to Wyoming when I was playing it. Like we were groundbreaking innovators.
That would explain the decade differential. I mean, it adds up.
Yeah.
The math is sound.
I think so. Uh-huh.
Or just not in that immediate area. You know, it could just be it wasn't a Pittsburgh, California thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Something along those lines.
We had just discovered rap music as well in the mid-90s, Will.
Oh, that Vanilla Ice wasn't he a cad?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Also, for those of you that may be listening to this as a podcast after the fact, we are actually, even though I'm sure nobody's watching, but I'm not going to look, and I don't care right now. We are doing this. If you may have been used to seeing us one of many ways. So the video that's going live, and there is no live audio going out, right? Well, there is with the video. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but just through the video, it's not like we're miming it.
Yeah, which I got to tell you, because of all of this nonsense, I actually have kind of forgotten to even put the video up anywhere else this last time.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay. 302 can just go into oblivion for all I care. But with this, it's going out exclusively to our patrons. So the people that support us, if we're going to put anything towards video, let's go with that direction. In order to make sure there is an added benefit, if you will. So.
Yeah.
All that said, and also I think it will then make the times that we do go live completely unique, because all of this is discretionary, right? It's all
totally
making it up as we go.
Yeah,
I like to think so. So anyway,
I love Carl's Jr. I love Carl's Jr. still. Oh, they have the best breakfast sandwich, the grilled cheese sourdough breakfast sandwich. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, that is oddly enough, that is such a deep cut.
Yeah. There's only a few people that are like, holy crap, that's a thing still.
Yeah. Well, yeah, really, it is, because I thought you were just eating nothing but potatoes. So
Yeah, no, I wish I was Carl's Jr.ing.
I actually over the weekend, I think it was one Saturday, something was happening, and I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta live life. But I also picked it on the same weekend that Blair unfortunately had some type of stomach bug, is what I'll describe it as.
Yikes.
And then Sunday, which is the day after, I'm like, live a little. I just started getting what I felt like, I call it an iron stomach. It's just kind of hard.
Yep.
You don't exactly have an upset stomach, but you don't feel well either.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
And then
it just sagging down in there, and you're like, something's coming. Yeah, there's something in there.
And I'm equating it to the stomach bug, but it could actually be the other way around, because I think Mark Bernardin actually posted something on Instagram earlier about how after he's been going through certain dietary changes as well, and there was one night where he didn't even eat something bad. He just had like something, right? But because it was so different from what he was eating, he's like, I feel like I'm 21 years old with a hangover from cheap brandy or something along those lines. Said more eloquently, because the dude's a writer, I'm sure. And like I could understand that as well, especially since we talked about body hacking so much on the last episode.
Yeah. And that's another thing. But I feel, and maybe, I don't know, the exact opposite now when it comes to like actual like hangovers, though. Like a hangover now really affects me, unlike it did, say, 10 years ago.
So in other words, you have officially entered no, you know what? I'm okay with one tonight stage of life.
It's got to be a pretty big deal to be okay with one. Like it's definitely a conscious decision to be made if that's going to happen.
Okay, I like that. That's a better way to sell it. I like that. It's just like, if there's a decision to be made here, I'm going to make really at that point you're just like, things have been so bad that I'm willing to risk a hangover for 4 minutes of escapism.
Before I, of that same age, just fall asleep.
There you go. And here comes a very well built segue, even though I didn't intend it that way. Holy crap! With the Instagram post from Kevin Smith that
right,
Clerks 3 is back in play.
Yeah, dude, with a new script.
Yeah, which I think that was something he was alluding to when they did the charity reading.
Yes.
He's just like, if we were, or no, he even said it then, I think. So my whole point is that in doing a little research, if you will, there have been motions toward this. It just needed one linchpin to fall into place, because there was a point, I know there's a quote out there where somebody says sometime either at that event reading, one of them, or in an interview after it, or it could be something around June or July, where he just says, it's something I'd really like to do with a new script now that I've gone through this experience. And you know what? It could be on his own goddamn Hall H, for all I know.
I remember it too, so it might be. Yeah, It was definitely something that was very public.
Yeah, so it's kind of all been building up to that, but that's exciting to hear, because personally speaking, again, it may be because I've just got a lot of memories about Clerks 2, specifically because I think at the time his web board was still a thing, and there were certain people got chosen to see a pre-color corrected screening of Clerks 2 early. And that was one of the things that I got to go to. And probably after the screening had one of those most awkward, I've been hanging around here too long kinds of things.
Oh, where you just become like self-aware and you're like, I need to remove myself immediately.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh wait, no, I'm that guy that's creepily hanging around. I should go now.
Yep.
And so, anyway, it like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where for whatever reason I got invited to the premiere of. That's why. There was a press screening that Kevin got my wife and I in to see it early, and it's just like I don't know why these things are happening, but they always seem to come at a good time. And so I hearing about Clerks 3, I'm very happy to hear about, because if you think about it, we kind of had that first story, an informative story of the 20s people in the 90s. But not to mention that once it goes over to Clerks 2, you now find, them deciding on their adult direction, and one of them finds love and marriage. And so, like a natural conclusion, I don't know squat, but I don't think anybody does, considering he says he just started writing it Wednesday night, basically. Tuesday night? Monday night? One of them damn
whenever
nights.
it was, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that it's something that is about Randall's story at this point. Which, if you think about it, character-wise, he wrote the character of Randall for himself. So now that he's had the experiences he's had since February of 2018, this would sort of also be helping to... I'm going way too damn deep into this. But it's kind of him bringing closure for himself as well as representative of that character.
Yeah, it's interesting because the first film is about like doing something with your life, right? Like just like getting out of the nest and like, taking that step into adulthood. And then the second film is kind of, I don't know, and maybe I'm projecting too much on it, but I always felt like it was a coming to terms with him moving from New Jersey to LA, right? For him leaving all of his best friends forever, and moving on, and kind of the relationship that can still succeed after that, right? And so now I can only assume that we're gonna hear a lot of facing death is fine as long as you know that you've got people that love you around you type thing. Clerks 3 is just gonna be Toy Story 3.
Okay, fair enough. Good.
There's a point where
I'll take that. I was just sitting here going, man,
going into the trash compactor together, holding hands.
I was
like, it's gonna be okay.
I was just sitting here going, I thought I was going deep, but now he's making me feel a lot better right now.
No, yeah, I've totally thought about this a lot, actually. Yeah.
No, I've been in that headspace, Will.
Yeah, no, it's a thing, man.
It is, and it was just for me. It was one of those interesting things where it's like, wait, this is what essentially it's like, I felt like it was waking up to it. It's like, what the heck is going on?
Oh yeah, and it covered and it dovetails perfectly, right, with the big media tour that's going on right now for Rebooted.
That's so look,
right.
Look, can I just say,
like he's on Good Morning America, and he gets to talk about this now too.
Can I just say then, okay? Let's just slip completely into just as a fan.
Yeah.
Master use of social media with big news at key timing. I mean, that's some strategic stuff, man.
Yep. Super smart.
Just like that is extremely strategic. I was really kind of blown away when I too came to that bit of realization. Hey, wait a second. Because it is obviously this is apparently like a New York press week for them. By the way, speaking of which, if we can just hop really quick again.
Yes, tangentially, still related.
Still oddly, yeah. If you want to talk about a genius way to market your product.
God. So damn smart.
Trent, let me just ask you something. In your opinion, as a member of the community that is a fan of wrestling, okay? How big is it, would you say, appearing on the premiere night of, say, a brand new wrestling company, if you will?
A company that has had so much hype around it, and this is being its first television ever anything like this will live in the history of professional wrestling as historians will look back on this episode being a monumental shift in the dynamic of how we consume professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah. So, and not to mention the flip side too, to that is just how many people do you think are a member of that fandom of entertainment wrestling?
Oh my God, dude. I can't even imagine. Like it's in the millions, right? It's literally in the millions. And it's even smarter because the AEW dynamic is kind of the curators of wrestling, right? They're the guys who aren't satiated with WWE product anymore. They want more wrestling and less like talk on the microphone, and they're the ones that are reading the Wrestling Observer and picking their best matches of the year. So it's like the diehard fans that are at a higher maybe level of spending money. You know, they have maybe more disposable income. They're probably more judicious in the type of content that they do consume. I mean, it's the perfect audience for who you would want to, get in front of if you're trying to, get people to go see a movie.
Interestingly enough, though, just on the subject matter of wrestling, I noticed there is another big wrestling event. I think, is it tomorrow or next week? But apparently it's a major anniversary for the WWE. SmackDown or something.
Yeah, so SmackDown is on Friday for the first time in many, many years. It's on another network, not USA. It's been on USA forever. And it's going to be on Fox Sports now, Fox Sports 1. And it's on a Friday night. You and I have talked a lot about Friday night programming.
Oh,
right?
Wow. Yeah, but they are definitely putting up a fight.
Oh yeah.
In order to try and get people to come, because I follow Dwayne Johnson on social media.
Yep.
And Holmes is getting back in the ring, it sounds like.
Well, he'll be there. In the past, like I think the last appearance he made for the WWE was 2 or 3 years ago for WrestleMania. It was when it was at the new Levi Stadium.
Was that around Baywatch time?
It may have been.
By the way, let's not diss The Rock. We're not dissing The Rock, please.
No,
fans. If you are one of the few hundreds of thousands that download Netheads and you love The Rock, we are in no way disparaging him.
No, are you kidding me? Like I literally can smell what the Rock is cooking.
Well,
he's the highest sought after actor in Hollywood, man.
I don't want anyone coming after me and telling me they expect me to suck a monkey nipple. So let's just be cool. All right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That is the only thing. So, by the way, that's literally the only thing I know about Dwayne Johnson's wrestling career, because there was one period where I was going from I think the Rancho Cordova area. So I was very often listening to local radio, which ran ads at the time, and The Rock was featured on them, and that monkey nipple thing came up, and it stuck with me all these years.
It's so interesting. I was at a seminar by a guy that has probably trained more people that have gone on to the WWE than anyone out there, and he was just talking about what it takes to actually have charisma and actually know how to work a microphone well. And he was like, honestly, like, I hate to say it, but when was the last time you heard someone on the microphone and it was so good that you, like, if you were in another room, you would pop your head in to be like, whoa, what's going on in there? Even if you're a fan of wrestling or not, The Rock's like the last dude to do that because he's so everything. Long story short, yes, The Rock will be back on Friday for the season premiere of SmackDown on Fox Sports 1. Fox purchased the distribution, I guess, the airing of this film or of this TV series for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
For $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money. Now, there's a couple of things to think about what they're purchasing here, though, because the WWE, their season is every single week.
Oh.
So that is unique content for every single week. So it's 52 weeks in a year. Throughout the whole, that's 52 episodes every single year. So, out of it, they're going to end up with, what is it, like 700 episodes.
Zang. That's a lot of episodes, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane. But yes, The Rock's coming back. And
but I'm
back
sorry.
to what we were talking about.
There you go. Bring it home, brother.
Yeah, Kevin and Jay, right, like literally ringside of AEW. There were some tweets out earlier, which was super cool because no one had seen the tag team belts for the AEW yet, and Jay and Kevin had them on their shoulders for the tweet and stuff. Like, like this, it's super super smart.
Yes, definitely,
it's brilliant.
And again, with the timing and exposure, that same day where all of this happened at night, there was a new 2-part watch along podcast put together with Kevin and Mr. Chris Jericho.
Oh yes, which they're like whenever they get together and talk, I could listen to those two just spin yarn forever.
Trent, let me tell you something. There's something that was so magical about them that when I was blindly reaching into the laundry basket for shorts to put on today, I grabbed a pair of jorts. I only own one pair.
No, that's John Cena. That's John Cena.
Oh, good point. Anyway, you say that, but listen to the Bad News Bears ones because he was
okay. Yeah.
Jericho,
oh, right. Yeah.
Jericho jorted up too. No, they did this for Pulp Fiction now, but I would think there's parts in there. I don't know whether it was in the first part or the second part because I had to listen to it all. And I don't say that in a bad way. I don't say that in a bad way. But it's to me, there are going to be parts in there that I think are informative to you because it talks about Chris Jericho basically transitioning away from the WWF at the time.
Yep. Right.
And then, a little bit about the AEW coming in. So there's, I think there's some bits in there you'd be interested. Also, it's just cool. It's been forever since I've seen Pulp Fiction, but as they're talking about what's going on at the moment and making their comments about everything that's going on, instantly I'm able to picture exactly where they're at. I don't even need the movie.
Because we've all seen it so many times.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And although, of course, I think you listen to this type of thing, you're going to end up watching it again.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's like try to watch, when Kevin and Paul Dini go through Batman the Animated Series, and you're not like, okay, fine. And you turn on the DC app, start watching it.
I still haven't bought into the DC app.
Oh,
hey,
you got to do it.
So anyway, bringing it all back home, genius way to market your product at just the right time.
So freaking smart.
And then also doing that, amidst what I have to imagine is just a gigantic press tour.
Yeah.
Now you have that as a talking point as well. As a matter of fact, I think on the East Coast right now, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he's going to be on Colbert tonight. Sorry, it's...
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry this is coming off as a gigantic Kevin Smith wank fest, but...
Hey, you know what? Sign me up. You know what? I'll stand in the middle of this bukkake.
Okay, you don't have to say that. But, let me just say something, too. In that respect, it's been an interesting week, especially since all of that started off. This is the funniest thing to me, the way the week started off. So apparently there was a thing that happened behind the scenes, and publicists had reached out to but First We Feast or whatever it is. First We Feast.
Oh, yeah. The Eat Hot Wings thing.
Yeah. And they had said basically no. I don't know what way they did. And so like Monday morning, first thing, he puts out a little funny parody video, their own version called Not Ones.
Yeah.
And that was just exciting as hell too, to kick everything off. So it's just kind of like it achieves, by the way, if I may say, it also is something that was perfectly made for YouTube because it's 1/3 the length of the material it is satirizing.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And internally speaking, it also makes just a horrible mistake part way to where Jay went with like the fourth hottest second.
Uh-huh.
So you get to see somebody have that true suffering moment, and it's at a little over 10 minutes. It is just the perfect digestible amount.
Yeah.
So it's
For a
something.
YouTube video. Yeah, that leaves you wanting more, but it's not like, okay, I can skip through this part.
Yeah, it's just a nice, perfect, condensed piece of media, which I had nothing to do with. I was just as surprised as everyone else when it came out, but I just thought it was amazing that they were able to put that together and even produce it, and it just it obviously came off great. So that's one thing that goes out. It doesn't necessarily become viral, but it ends up becoming a cross-marketing thing with the show it's even satirizing, because that guy like did a walking response to it video, and then Kevin did one, and then they got all cute, and now I'm sure they're skipping in a meadow somewhere above in upstate New York.
Yeah, in the Meadowlands, maybe.
Who knows? So it's just in that respect, if you're a Kevin Smith fan, it's been an interesting week, and we are under 2 weeks away from being able to go to a Fathom Events to see Jay and Silent Bob reboot finally.
Yes. Yeah.
So
from what the small portion that you already got to see, uncut.
What do you mean uncut? I don't follow you.
Well, I mean, it hadn't been edited or taken off of a computer because it was being shot.
Oh, you mean when I was okay? So when I was sitting as a background player and I was in the scene, yes, okay. So yes, as I experienced, which will be fun because I think when the movie comes out, then I can like actually fully detail everything that went on. I guess you still got to wait a little while, huh? Because they're doing the whole tour thing.
Yeah,
if you want to be
yeah.
respectful to the artist and his material.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
and not a thief, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, too, because you're
Yeah.
in one way stealing somebody's IP, even though you're
Yeah.
telling. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't know why. This got horribly deep. But it's just been an extremely interesting week, and it just makes me wonder what is to come in the remaining 8 days or 9
Yeah.
days before the movie comes out.
Yeah. No, I'm stoked, man. It's this is what a great time to be alive. I mean, Clerks 2 is maybe my favorite Kevin movie, and like a friend of mine, we were talking about this earlier this week, like it's a top 5 like comedy movie period, like out there. Like it, like I share clips of it all the time in many chats that I'm in because everything's relevant.
Mm-hmm. I also have to say, though, that Strike Back seems to also be the one movie where like it brings even more people together. So that's why Reboot, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Plus, you have the whole nostalgia factor, and we know that Affleck's going to be in it, and it's just
God, I know. Which again, I'm still seeing like these little like articles popping up left and right about how longtime friend Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck bury the hatchet, blah blah blah. Like it's still news.
Well, that's because when you put out any piece of media, it's able to include something, and somebody's like, if they didn't catch it that news cycle, now it's news for them.
True.
So they regenerate it.
Yeah.
But it's I can't wait to. Plus, I'm just looking forward to seeing the movie. And I'll have a story to tell there when I get to see the movie.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's coming through my neck of the woods in like 2 months, 3 months, 3 months.
Ah, yeah, because it's what's
January.
called a platform release, I believe.
Yes.
So, like they'll air it in that market, and then they'll bring the tour in that market, and then it'll play at the local
And then it'll
theaters.
play after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool, man. Like that's old school Hollywood, right? Like a film would either be released on the East Coast or on the West Coast, and then however many of prints they had of it would just go from theater to theater to theater to theater as it made its way all the way across the country, right? Like that's kind of a fun nostalgic way to do it.
True, and I'm sure because it's the whole point is, I think it's a model that works. And he talks about that. Actually, if you want to listen to the latest episode of Smodcast, he brings that up again. It's just like the math doesn't work. Whereas we can do this and we can do that. And so that way, they're able to actually make money back for the investors and then, do their thing. So, and it's a model that he proved worked. The more hair.
I just stuck my hand, my 2 fingers, and pulled that out. See last episode.
Yeah, my wife even she said, no, those dogs too. Yeah, that's it. You have a 2-coat breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have an upper protective coat and then an undercoat.
Yep. And the hair's so fine and soft because it's for insulation.
Beware the undercoat, Trent.
Story of my life.
Well, this past Saturday, actually, I did that. I took the dogs to the groomer because like I said, the male, he was blowing his coat, Rika.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he came back looking like a freshly dethatched lawn.
Yep.
There was so much less of him there now. That's gotta, for them, that's gotta be a relief too, I would think.
It's gotta feel so much better for sure. Yeah. Being stuck inside, just like imagine if you're wearing like a down base layer all the time. It's gonna get warm.
Yeah, a bit. Definitely. Hey, by the way, since we've been going like 36 minutes now, maybe we should well, maybe not necessarily that long, but maybe we should talk about some tech stuff and some other cool news that we heard about.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, we used to have a jingle for it, I think. Yeah, here we go. Because I think I even tried to tie it to you.
Trent Tech.
Tech news.
Trent Tech.
Yep, Trent.
Trent Tech.
Tech news.
Trent Tech.
This is so embarrassing.
Tech news. Trent Tech.
And then it's supposed to cut to like, here we go. So now it becomes a bed for you to be able to talk about some tech news. But I'll if you don't mind, I'll insert my news in here.
Please.
I was one of the questions we've been having out there in the world ever since Disney Plus has announced itself. There was the careful omission that, oh, look, I won't be able to get Disney Plus through the Fire TV yet. Well, apparently, dropping in the news this past week, they're still negotiating. Amazon and them other fine folk, they are still negotiating because I think Amazon is telling Disney like they want to be able to have some space, some advertising space in it.
Oh.
Or they want a majority of the space in it.
Because they see that as a competitor for their own product, like
Maybe.
rentals or anything like that. I mean, if someone's already got it, right? Like I would even say if it were me, right? I'm happy to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay you $5 or whatever it is for the app, just so that I don't have to switch over to my Chromecast.
Sorry, that music was just obnoxious. Speaking of Chrome, I'm really hoping they work it out, since basically the heart of my streaming platform is the Fire TV.
Yep, same
base. Although I'm sure with the right smart TV, or if you get a brand new DVD player or Blu-ray player of a specific, like, I don't know. I don't even remember what the devices were. I didn't care. I'm like, I'll watch it on a goddamn computer. I don't care. Right. I am going to watch this no matter where it is.
Yeah.
So I really hope they do get it worked out, because I don't want to have to figure out what that other method is. But speaking of the Chromecast, my wife and I just had our anniversary, and now there is a new big screen TV in the family room.
Right.
Which, by the way, through an ironic bit of a glitch in the Alexa working with the Harmony remote. Cancel. She's listening.
Always listening. Always listening.
Once I've named something and then made any type of change and have to resync it, because I had to make sure there was a 4K Fire Stick in a UHD TV to take advantage of seeing what 4K really would look like. God, this sounds so bragging. I don't mean it to be. The whole point is there's a new TV out there, and I hope I get to watch Disney Plus on it somehow. But in the meantime, the TV that was in there, which I think is like a 55-inch, It's now hanging on the wall behind you.
Yeah.
Well, not behind you, behind my monitors. You're over there. But what I really want to do now, if I'm able to, because when I show you on the video right now, that is a screen capture of a second monitor is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a cropped portion of it. So I have to ask you, when you use Chromecast to send something to your TV,
Yeah.
does the original video source, is it still visible, or does it blank out on the monitor because it's now playing up on your screen?
So it depends on how you're casting it.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
Because if I remember right, from a computer, if you're casting it through the like if it's a video player
Mm-hmm.
and you're casting from that, it will cast the actual link. And so it's using the Chromecast to play it. But if you're just casting from the Chrome browser,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it is still playing in the browser.
Okay, because if that's the case, then I'm going to get really redonkulous up in here, because technically you're on my right. I'm looking a camera to attempt to look like I'm talking to you or the audience.
Yeah.
But those cameras, immediately behind them is this new screen. So what I want to do is I want to get a Chromecast, so that way when we do this, I can look at you on this gigantic monitor. It'll be like I'm talking to Grizzly Adams God.
You could totally do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Because that's going to be the experiment then for the next program. Because if I can have you up again there was a brief period where I was using like a digital projector to put you up on the screen. I want to do that again, but now the screen's all the way over there instead of being projected, and it seems like the Chromecast is the smartest way to try and go.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so as long as it's a double thing, then apparently I can take the link here, paste it in a browser, and then I'll have all the tools to be able to do it. So it'll be a fun thing to test out, because I just want to, it'll be like I'm sitting here and I'm talking to Mission Control or something.
Maybe I'll get like some Christmas lights in the back. Little flash every once in a while, so it looks like we're tracking like a bomb or something, or like the missiles of Mission Control.
No, what I want you to do is I just want you to get a big piece of cardboard, and then just take some some colored Christmas lights, and just randomly poke them through like you would have as a kid. And
old school Light Bright.
There you go, and you'll just have a nice, it'll look like a complex series of lights going off behind you. And then you just look deadpan into the screen and go, "It's my spaceship." That'll be fun.
I can do that.
Excellent. Anyway, I got lost in the weeds, but in telling the remote control via the Echo, we can use the Harmony remote to turn everything on and off if we want. Well, now it's gotten to the point where we can't tell it Fire TV, we can't tell it television, we can't tell it TV, because every time you sync a name or you sync a new device into the spot, or what have you, it won't let me rename it. In this case, I made the mistake of wanting to just change the name of the damn thing to say it was the Family Room instead of Williams Fire TV, because I'm like, well, that's really, right, everyone gets to use this. It's not just mine.
Yeah, it's not mine.
So I did that, and so now the TV wouldn't work anymore. So now, officially, you have to tell the damn thing to turn on or off the big screen.
Oh. Now that's a term that we don't use a whole lot anymore.
No, but it is. I'm not gonna lie.
Big screen TV, though, but back in the days of like tube television, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like big screen. You knew it was a huge effing TV when the term big screen was used.
Oh yeah, well it's like this. Not to bring it back to Kevin Smith again, but like the 105-inch TV that he got from, I think, Panasonic.
Yeah.
But it's like you just have to imagine it is massive and it's deep because.
Yeah.
And who
like it's like having a pool table in your basement. Like that's getting sold with the house. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the house now.
Yeah, that's nobody's bringing this out of here. Nope. It's just you'll stay there. And I can only imagine them having, because no matter what they had done, they either would have had they would have had to bring it up one very skinny flight of stairs at least in
Oh,
order to
man.
get up there. It's
Oh,
it's just
and
like
it's not like something you can like do in pieces either.
no. Well, except I think it also came with a custom stand, if I remember correctly. So they had to move that up too.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
awesome.
No, that's where you're just like, sell the house and you know what? We'll knock $100 off the price because you're
Yeah.
gonna keep that TV.
Because it's yours now.
Yeah, that's yours now. We're not gonna have anything to do with it. Have you heard any cool tech news? Anything in the tech sector that perked your ears?
I haven't, but I do kind of want to bend your ear, get some ideas. I have got the machine that I'm on right now. I've gone through and I've cleaned it off, and like I'm not using a whole ton of space, storage wise, and I've got plenty of memory. But the damn thing keeps on running at 100% performance on my C drive.
Really?
Do I just need a new C drive? Like I like it's maybe like 10 years old. But
well, technically, first of all, that is a long life for a hard drive,
for
especially
sure.
for a consumer grade product. If you're seeing that type of activity, it may not be a massive problem yet, but you're still going to be getting into the land of checking to see if there is a boot sector issue or a bootloader issue. And man, even 10 years old, that's that. Have you run any type of check disk utilities on it?
No, not yet. Nope. No, because I was like, well, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna clean it, right? Make sure that I've got rid of everything I don't need. And as of right now, hell, I'll just do a quick little Control-Alt-Delete here. Pull it, and you'll see it's and I think some of the performance issues that you and I have had, even during this call for a little while.
Yeah, you froze up.
Right? Yeah, and guess because I opened a new tab in Chrome.
You bastard. Why
Yeah,
would you
right?
do such a thing? How could you? No, I get that too. I mean, there's a computer in here that's constantly just streaming out some audio, and it's literally running on this little cheap thin client I got. And if I like so much as, I'll add a new file to the playlist, it's like, okay, well, everything's just going to hang for 2 minutes while we go to do that. Because it's a weak machine, but it also uses not even solid state drive, I don't think. No, they don't. They use laptop hard drive. So
Right.
these things lag something fierce.
So yeah, it's picking up into like, I mean, just without like browsing like sites and stuff, it's still running at like 30%, and like it's Chrome, and like this is running in Chrome. Those are the only things that are running right now. I'm running at 6 of 16 gigs of the memory, and the CPU's only at 34%. Like, so it's got to be the C drive, right?
It sounds like it. Although
Yeah.
it could be that it's just been around so long, you need to have a good defragmentation. Because what's
Now,
happening
there's
is,
a term we haven't heard in a long time either.
well, it still applies.
Yeah.
There are sectors on the disk that the data gets written to, and depending on the way the operating system handles that information, it's not necessarily writing it all together because it's using available space. So the more you have written to the disk and then deleted and are writing
And
to the
delete it
disk,
off. Yeah,
your,
good point. Yeah.
your data gets spread against these sectors, and then everything slows down. So occasionally you do want to have your computer take the data and reconsolidate it into a more logical fashion because it spends less time than attempting to read and then recompile the data from that spanning of sectors.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And like right now, I'm getting it up into the 60s just by like opening up like Trello, a very simple
Don't do
website,
that.
right?
Don't do
Like,
that, man. What are you thinking?
I apologize. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's I will I'll run some utility checks, and I'll let you know what I've found next week. I've found a couple of articles, I haven't read them yet, that have talked about like 100% disk error.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not getting an error ever.
No, but that'll be next.
Oh God, don't say it. And let's be honest, man. 10 years is, it's actually probably longer than 10 years. Fuck. God, might be 15 actually.
No, I don't. Well, it depends if it's because you and I have been recording together for
Yeah.
just under a decade, and during that time, I know there was a point that you acquired a new computer. I don't want to say you did
Yeah.
it with your student loan money.
I did. This is the same one.
Okay, so that's under 10 years then.
Not by much.
Not a whole hell of a lot, no.
Okay, yeah. So it might be 11. Yeah, so I was doing my graduate school stuff in like 2000. Okay, so it's 9 years old. It's 9 years
There
old.
we go.
There we go.
That's a pretty. And how many operating systems has it been through?
Oh God, it was on Vista. Back in the day.
But how many iterative upgrades have you done?
Oh,
Obviously, you
gosh.
got the hell out of Vista.
Yeah. No. I'm well. So that was the very first thing I did was I caught up on all my Windows 10 updates, which took forever.
Mm-hmm.
And because this isn't necessarily always my primary computer, I was behind on those, so that took forever to do too. So yeah, it's gone through them all.
Okay. Well, okay, you're running Windows 10. And even that, Windows 10, I mean, that's part of the reason why the thin client runs so slow. It's not made for that. I had to go in and, like, disable a lot of features that
Oh,
go in.
don't
like,
even get me started.
I don't need translucent windows. I don't
The
need
stupid
shadow.
bloatware.
I don't
and-
need... Yeah, I don't need these
Oh.
screen effects. I don't need your animation effects.
no.
I just need this to work as a computer. I just need it to
Yes.
run. And the only reason why it's running that instead of Linux is because I don't want to have to cobble together a streaming solution. This is Windows-based software that works. So
Yeah. An interesting problem that I ran into a couple of weeks ago that there is no fix for. So, your most of your editing you do on a MacBook Pro?
no.
Oh,
I got
okay.
I had a computer upgrade, I think in I'm going to say around August of 2018. And
Okay.
so Mac users aren't going to like me saying this, but
yeah, it runs better, doesn't it?
audio editing and video editing goes a lot faster
Oh, so much faster.
on, I mean, we're talking about, for the things I do, really you're talking about a fraction of minutes, but if you can get back 20 minutes of your life in doing something,
So worth it.
yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to, and plus it has helped. I used to do a lot of stuff on my laptop in the family room, and really it's gotten to the point where I think everybody just wants me, just go in there, do it, and then come out.
And then
'Cause-
come be with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of of that same mind. It's funny though because I was trying to do the exact opposite, and in editing video footage, I was like, you know what, I'll work on this out so that the dogs don't have to be stuck down the basement. They can still look out the window, whatever, blah blah blah. Come to find out though, with Premiere, it only ever uses your whatever's indicated as the 0 GPU.
Oh,
So if you have like a 2 GPUs, one for like running your OS or whatever, and then like a gaming one, which is, I bought the computer as a gaming, well, got it from work as a gaming computer. Yeah, it won't run the GeForce 970. It only runs the basic.
the crappy on board one.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, it's all it will run, and I've looked everywhere. And it's just an Adobe problem, like that has been known for like 5 years. And they don't fix it at all. Like that's such a, like, I'd be able to scream through editing with that graphics card for video, but with Premiere, it will only, and even the people that have said they've gone in and tried to turn the original or the OS GPU off, it still won't even run it because it's in its mind, it's loaded as only running off of one GPU ever.
I'll have to take a look at that because I know,
Messed up.
like when my PC upgrade happened, it was the same story. I went with, ironically, I went with a gaming computer because it also matches a lot of the specs that you want for
For video.
audio and video rendering.
Yeah.
and I do a lot of audio stuff too. And let me tell you something. Some of those processes, it literally is like it's 23 minutes over on the Mac, and it's like 12 and a half to 14 on the PC. So,
Especially when it gets into the rendering side of things.
Mhm.
And when you're dealing with, something that's over an hour long, that's a long ass time to render.
Yeah. And even if it's not even an audio project, same way. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
Okay, well, let me just add a little D reverb here. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's 2 hours and 38 minutes. Okay, well, but that too is like, okay, well, it says 14 minutes, set a 14-minute reminder on my watch, and I can go outside and get some freedom in that time if there's not
Yeah.
something I need to multitask on.
Right.
You know, all of that is great talk, Trent.
Yeah.
But realistically, there is a question that we still need answered that I think has been hanging around at least since episode 301. Maybe even 299. I'm not sure. Have you seen Far From Home yet?
Good boy. Good dogs. You guys are good dogs.
Are you deflecting now?
Good dogs. I'm sorry. What was that, Will?
Are you deflecting now?
I have not seen it yet. No.
I got some news for you then. Because naturally, when it came out on video, I said, okay, understood. And you know, I talk a lot about wanting to quote unquote have physical media still. Okay,
Sure.
I prefer
Yeah,
having a
yeah.
DVD and the Blu-ray, and obviously I've made the switch to 4K
Yes.
recently in order.
UHD, baby.
Yeah, in order to
For Ultron HD.
Well, yeah. Oh, really?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I
Well,
think it's Ultra HD, but you know, Ultron is fun too.
okay, understood. So I naturally I did order it on digital because thankfully, unlike all of the Disney releases, technically this one's put out by Sony, which
Correct.
through my Voodoo account that I got up with my Walmart account,
Yes.
I could get me the Vidya. I could order it for pre-order, and
Yeah.
then I would get my Instant Watch digital,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the box has a digital code in it. So
Oh.
you get a Far From Home, and there's nobody else here. You just get a Far From Home.
I mean, that is how I watched Into the Spider-Verse, right?
Exactly. So the only thing is that I must have been late in the cycle because it's not gonna, or because I get my Instant Watch copy.
Right. You're on bottom of the list.
So it came out on the 1st, but I get mine on the 8th, which will be Monday. So that's when you'll get it.
So that being said, though, we just finished with the Salt Lake film, or not Salt Lake, the Logan Film Festival here in town,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided, you know what, I don't go to the movies enough, and I have the perfect time to go Sunday mornings, in Utah because it's an empty theater. So I'm readopting. This is going to be my new church services, I think, for myself. I'm going to be going Sunday mornings, and I'm going to go see the Joker, I think, this Sunday morning.
That's a bold choice. I say only because I don't know what to expect from that movie. I mean, look, all I'm saying is for me, first of all, Todd Phillips, the guy from The Hangover,
Yeah.
basically, and Joaquin Phoenix, who, you know, well, Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Right?
I mean, for me, it's like playing a hand of Joker poker, basically, and it's a high stakes game, and you're going to take your chances.
Sure.
The thing that I think, though, that we're going to see is that this is an adaptation of the character. Even though I think I did hear that Thomas Wayne in this. Is that what I heard?
Oh, is Thomas Wayne in it?
Yeah, maybe I'm giving spoilers
I don't
away.
know. I don't know anything about it. I've only seen one trailer for it, and it looked kind of like they were doing some of the Killing Joke origin stories for the Joker, of him it shows, like, you know, Joaquin Phoenix standing up at what looks like an open mic, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's trying his hand at some comedy.
I don't know. All I know is I think it'll be interesting. I just don't know that I'm going to be able. I haven't even gone out with my wife yet for our 25th anniversary. We literally sat at home, had dinner, a nice steak dinner brought in, and watched binged New Girl on Netflix.
Oh, love the New Girl.
Well, we had the kids, and then you just, we'll make it a priority later, I guess. And we haven't even had that yet. So I don't know that I'm going to spend that, not even spend that. That's a horrible way to put it. Obviously my wife is due, some time with just us,
Yeah.
as am I with her, without the little niños. But, yeah, I don't think I could spend it on Joker, but it sounds like at least you'll have something. I can't wait to hear your reaction to it, I guess.
Well, it's interesting because the New York Times today just put out their review of it, and A.O. Scott does not give it a good review at all.
Ooh. Well.
Yeah. It barely even works within the confines of its own genre, the comic book movie. Joker is a supervillain origin story involving a character whose big screen resume already includes 3 Oscar winners. It's not hard to see the appeal. The Joker, an embodiment of pure anarchy, can blah, 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 blah. I'm still not sure what Jared Leto was doing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, he just says it's not even worth talking about in the context of it being like controversial because it's such a bad movie.
Let's, well, look. Okay, it's been a long time, but, well, not really a long time, but there are certain movies that come along, and they have a certain expectation, and that expectation isn't in any way, shape, or form met.
Yeah.
It's like they've spent a lot of money on this movie. I'm not saying they have with Joker, but, they spend a lot of money on the movie, and this is what we got. Howard the Duck. Ishtar.
Yeah.
Waterworld.
Dry land is not a myth, for I've seen it. Waterworld. I don't know what all the fuss was about. I saw the movie 7 times. It was great.
Oh, man. What ones have we had since then, though? Because realistically speaking, you had... there was a Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez one, Geely.
Yeah.
But what have we had? Like, have there recently been any movies where it's just like, no, don't.
Depends on who you talk to. Suicide Squad, maybe.
Well, that may be. Although, interestingly enough, actually, 2 things on that. It's amazing. Yeah. It's just like. What we should just call the show is segue.
Yeah, right.
2 things. My 5-year-old daughter wants to be Harley Quinn for Halloween.
Awesome.
I don't know. I'm holding up the number 2 when I said my 5-year-old daughter, but let's steer away from that.
And another thing. And 2.
Maybe. I hope. I don't even know which fingers I was holding up now. Oh, that video could be so bad. So that's an interesting thing that we came to terms with because of what the character it embodies, and just about, in her first medium, she was crazy.
Yeah.
And then, in comic book form and most movie forms, she's homicidal.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting thing to reconcile. But I got to tell you, the costume she chose is just adorable. So that'll work well.
Is it like Batman the Animated Series style?
No,
Harley
although that
Quinn?
one was available. And don't get me started on the fact that little kids are the ones that get all the cool costumes, all right? They get all the versions of Black Panther, Trent, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They get to choose between Far From Home Spidey and Stealth Suit Far From Home Spidey. Oh. And the only choice for, a nice husky boy like me is just your standard one-piece Spider-Man red and blue, okay?
Or sad out-of-shape Spider-Man, which is my favorite Spider-Man on the cosplay circuit at conventions. Often portrayed, rarely done in irony.
For only $49.99, Trent, plus California sales tax, I can make that a reality for you.
Yeah,
I can start shooting private videos for you. It's just like,
ooh, I like where this is headed.
Here's that Spider-Man walking to get the mail.
Or you, a cheaper way to even go is to do Peter B. Parker, right? So you just do the Spider-Man T-shirt with a green like army coat over top.
I've seen. I saw those in San Diego. Did you see that? Any of those at the Salt Lake Comic Con?
Oh yeah, a couple. There. Oh man, there was one family. So one of there are two artists on Spider-Man right now. One of them lives here in Utah. He was at the comic convention. I was second in line. The family right in front of me did an entire Into the Spider-Verse cosplay setup through
wow.
5 of them. It was so awesome. They did such a great job.
That is so cool. Anyway, where was I? I was going on the tangent, but Blair did Harley Quinn. But it's an interesting take because it takes kind of the cinematic elements, but it also takes a little homage to the origin because the top is it's a nice vest and shirt with it's white squares and black diamonds all through it. Very Harley Quinn-ish. And then it does have a pair of black and red tights and blue and red shorts and leg warmers. So it looks adorable instead of just about, aside from the original animation red and black style costume. And then every other variation that would probably be inappropriate, I think.
Sure. Oh, don't even get me started on that side of Halloween costumes for kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know. You know, we get trick-or-treaters, so I see what some of the options are. And I, you know, you don't want to be judgy, but you look at that and you go...
No, I'm definitely being judgy.
I'm like, you're going to let your kid get that? You're okay with that?
No.
Not
okay.
Yeah, me
Never
either.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad here we're of like mind on that. I don't know if there was another point I was making with the costume.
Because literally, that is someone's daughter. Like, you're standing right next to her. She's your daughter. Good Lord.
And see, usually this is the point where I would joke about the fact that, but that's they're actually walking with the mom with the glass of Chardonnay.
It's true. Who had just chased down a Xanax before they left.
See, but I can't say anything like that because I know there are people that I know that have done that. Let me just put it that way. So
well, how else are you gonna get through trick-or-treating?
I don't know. I just walk around.
I don't know. There's lots of ways to get candy, man.
What's interesting though is now that we've been here for a decade, seeing the way the neighborhood has changed. There used to be one neighbor that did a haunted house. They moved away, and then just seeing as new people come in, the first question I ask, because it's my favorite holiday, is like, oh, are they Halloween people?
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, we had a new neighbor. My one neighbor sold the house, and a family moved in. And I was worried because I always run the fog machine, and that's and sounds all Halloween night. And so, last thing I want to do is piss anyone off.
Sure, right.
And thankfully, they had full decorations and things hanging too. I'm like, oh, that was a close one.
Now, do you find that people who are Halloween people are also Christmas people, or is it or can they be mutually exclusive?
Both. I think it's both because the one thing I will never let on to my family, but my wife is listening to this, so she's going to know anyway. But my favorite time of year is when the house has been decorated. Not my favorite time of year. I love Halloween. I love my one favorite is when everything is out in the front yard and the gravestones and running special lights at night, just like Christmas.
Lights at night.
But this time, it's more like doing a bit or something.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that kind of stuff for Halloween. And then my co-favorite time of year is when all of the Christmas decorations have come out, including everything inside, because the house is just so much more colorful.
Yeah.
And seemingly alive because
my
daughter and my wife, they string we have lights and we have actual like green bushy pine tree like garland going around the banisters. So also it's all amazingly well lit down there. Like if you got to get up in the middle of the night, you don't have to have a big blaring light. You can just flick on a Christmas light.
That's a good point. Yeah, like like, and granted, you know, weather is part of it, but yeah, like Christmas is definitely better inside, I think, and Halloween is better outside.
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, then you just got creepy shit. I'm happy with fall, and my wife has a lot of cute, crafty ghosts and witches and things.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's a good, tasteful thing. I don't like, you know, there was and one year we also put up those. Why are we recounting decorations now? What the hell?
Fun. Because I don't have outlets on the outside of my house.
Oh, fair enough. Well,
I have to live through you.
Yeah. Well, you know, already I'm in the hole for pumpkins because I'm gonna have 3 that I'm gonna get that I'm not gonna decorate because I got the animated thing to project on them. This, you know, like last year.
Right. Yep.
So there's that, the fog machine, and then I've got to get pumpkins for carving. We didn't even bother carving pumpkins last year.
It's such a pain in the ass, though.
Well, but it's like the weekend before or a few days before. That's the fun thing you do at night, and then I don't know how you separate them, but apparently there's a cool way to get the seeds so you can then, you know, bake them and have your homemade pumpkin seeds.
Yeah. As a kid, I always made the mistake of picking like the biggest pumpkin because I thought that would be the most fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just ended up being the hardest goddamn thing in the world to like do anything with and to clean. And it just ended up being like a hole.
You're
just like a hole I cut and was like, my hands hurt. I'm done.
This is taking forever. You've done half an eye. And
Yeah,
they're just
I'm like,
triangles.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I'm used the butcher knife that's like, you know, 12 inches deep and I'm barely puncturing anything inside of the damn thing.
Yeah, but then, you know, technology comes along and people come up with these dull serrated blades that just rip right through them.
That was probably a thing when I was a child, but wasn't an option for me because we had the butcher knife, for God's sakes.
It hadn't made it there yet. And plus, how could that dinky look at that blade? That's not even sharp. How's that going to be better than my? No.
Pissing me off. I sharpened this tonight.
Exactly, man. No.
Yeah, but it's stuck.
But it
won't move.
We are coming up on my favorite time of year, and I got the big ridiculous spider web that goes from the roof down, and I got 2 big spiders to put on them. I love it. It's because it's just
the best.
It's a ridiculous time of year, but it's also I always forget until summer ends how much I love when fall does fall. You know, we're just a little off weather-wise, actually.
Yeah.
I think did we work it out? You're always 10 degrees cooler.
Usually, except it's been unseasonably cool already.
Yeah, it has. That's my point.
It's been super cool.
It's been going into the 40s at night, and I'm able to come into my office in the morning and open a window, and it gets brisk and cool.
And you can sleep so well at night.
Yeah, because
the heat's not kicking on yet, but it's still nice and cool, so the blanket has effect. Oh,
yeah. I've still got the what is it called? I've still got the it's a fan that's on a pole. I don't know what it's called. A stand fan.
That oscillates.
It doesn't. Not in my case. It's just I've still got that. I've still got the fan pointed at me while I'm sleeping. We haven't quite gotten to. Okay, I'm just going to have the fan turn slightly away, so I'm just catching a periphery if I need it. I'll only lean onto this part of the bed if I need to really get cool.
But you've always got that nice sound that's just putting you right to sleep.
Yeah, so much electricity. Just let it burn it away. Well, that was an interesting roller coaster that we went through there. That was nice. Thanks for that, man. I really don't. Anything else you need to talk about or plug? I really don't have anything. I'm just. I feel like plugging anything at this point is just pointless because.
Yeah, I think we've
not for you. I just mean there's so much stuff going on in Kevin's world. I'm like I got nothing else.
Yeah, that and I mean, let's be honest. I've plugged enough things in my day.
Okay, until next time, folks. This has been another edition of Netheads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
And we will be back
soon.
This is Netheads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off.
I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
Netheads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir.
Only at smodcast.com.
I got to tell you something, though. Did you ever watch, what was the name of that show on NBC? Third Rock from the Sun?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If I can successfully get you up on the big screen that's now high up on the wall so I can see it from my desk. Exactly. Every time the phone rings, I got to find a way to change it to a custom voice file so it's just incoming transmission from the big giant head.